And once again, welcome to my channel, Paranormal Oracle. This is Pat from Paranormal Ponderings. And today I am reading the next chapter in my book by the same name, Paranormal Ponderings Memoir. This is also in the air quotes, unquote, angel domain, and it's called Angel on the Parkway. And this is another true story that happened to me back as an adult this time. The first one was in infancy. Angel on the Parkway. These things I warmly wish for you: someone to love, some work to do, a bit of sun, a bit of cheer, and a guardian angel always near, which is an Irish blessing. The traffic had gotten so dense that my hazard lights aren't visible in the multicolored tangle of cars. Each driver pulling up behind me finds me stopped and themselves having to negotiate into the center lane. Most of them find imaginative ways to signal their irritation with me. Up until now, I believed in my three shots theory. Let her cool off a little and then try the ignition again 3 times in succession. This isn't working. I'm racking my brain for a plan. None will come. I try to visualize the nearest possibility for a telephone, and I remember that a marina entrance breaks up the miles of guardrail further down the road. For the life of me, I can't remember how far, and it's not visible from where I'm stopped. It could be just around the next curve or miles and miles away. I look down at my shoes, standard office fare for the 80s, pointy-toed, strappy, beige stiletto heels. They won't get me far. I gaze out across the bay, sparkling in the sinking sun, featureless except for the distant sailboats against the backdrop of Long Island's Gold Coast. The view doesn't help me orient myself. Surrounded by thousands of people in slowly moving vehicles, I am completely alone. Approaching my passenger side window is a young man. He's walking up the grassy verge between the roadway and the tall bushes that border the beach. A fishing pole is slung across his shoulder, and he swings a 5-gallon bucket as he walks. Instead of relief, I feel fear creep in, suddenly and palpably. I tell myself that the fear is because he startled me, but as he approaches, it grows until my heart is pounding. In an automatic New York motion, I pull my wallet from my purse and chuck it under my seat. He is tall and has to stoop low to lean into my window. Probably younger than me by a couple of years, he has the kind of black eyes that look dead. I ask him if he knows where there's a phone. He stares at me, and for a moment I wonder if he speaks English. Do you know where the nearest phone is? I ask again, trying to seem in control. Yes, he says in a mocking tone. I ignore this and go on. Do you think you could call a tow truck for me? I don't want to leave my car. I run down the possibilities in my mind. I do not want to follow this guy anywhere. Despite sitting in a 4-cylinder sweatbox, I feel goosebumps rise on my arms and a chill run down my neck. He stands there for a long moment, backlit by the glare of the bay, with only his eyes darting back and forth. I have the feeling that I am some kind of prey, and I contemplate squeezing out of the driver's door and flagging down a friendly-looking driver. Finally he says, "Watch my fish." He sets the bucket down next to my car. I nod affirmatively. "No, I mean it. Watch my fish. Don't let anyone take them." Suddenly he seems edgy. I raise my eyebrows. He raises his in response. "I'm not kidding, lady. Watch my fucking fish." Takes me a second to realize as I watch him stomp away that he's going in the wrong direction. There's nothing back there. No houses, no businesses, no phones, just miles and miles of shoreline. I try the ignition for the 12th time and wonder if my 3 shots theory is really wrong or I just miscounted somehow. I don't want to be here when the black-eyed man gets back. Something about him is not right, and he's setting off all my warning bells. I look wistfully at the traffic to my left. There are considerable breaks between cars now, and speed has definitely picked up. The tick, tick, tick of my hazard lights grows louder. The sun is broiling, and the briny smell from the bay is staggering. I decide to take a look at the precious bucket of fish. Climbing over the center console in a sweat-soaked skirt and stockings is no easy feat, but I manage to end up kneeling in the passenger seat. I push my head and shoulders out the window, and my heart freezes at the sight below me. The bucket is empty. There are no fish, and there is no water. Great confusion descends, and I scramble back to the safety of the driver's seat. I stare into the rearview mirror, searching for any trace of the black-eyed man. Thump, thump, thump. A car has stopped behind me, and someone is thumping on my roof. "I'm going to push ya. Just steer the car, okay?" I swivel in my seat, and the man is now at my window. I'm going to push you, he repeats, raising his voice over the road sounds. He's saying something, but I'm not focusing on his words. I'm taking in his long, thin, white beard and the piercing blue eyes above it. He's dressed in a decades-old style leisure suit in powder blue that appears 3 sizes too big for his narrow frame. And he's tall, very tall. He wears eyeglasses that are so outdated one would call them spectacles. On his feet are leather sandals. He's not only out of place, but out of time, and he makes an absurd picture. All the tension melts on my shoulders and neck, and I actually feel a giggle rising in my throat. He flashes a reassuring smile at me. His eyes are the bluest I've ever seen. You all right? He asks. I nod emphatically, finding that I can't manage to speak. The black-eyed man and the bucket forgotten, I watch as this comical creature retreats to the back of his car. His car is old, too. I can see that much. Faded green with a dirty white roof. Old and boxy. 60s Rambler, I guess. Bump. His car connects to mine. I take it out of park and steer as gently as I can. He pushes me slowly as cars speed by in the center lane. In a couple of minutes, I see the wide entryway to the marina approaching. I let out a sigh of relief when I'm able to turn the wheel, just enough to allow the pitch of the driveway to pull my car smoothly down the long drive to the parking area below. I note the presence of a phone booth just feet away as I throw the gear shift into park. The white-bearded man has followed me down and stands outside his car. I begin to approach him and remember my wallet under the seat. I have a 10 in it that I can offer him, and I reach down to retrieve it. Wallet in hand, I find myself spinning around in search of him. I have no tires on the ground. I've heard no tires on the ground. There's no car making its way back up the driveway. I search the scattering of parked cars in vain. I stand wobbling on my heels, stunned that he's not there. Not there. Not where he was a mere second ago. The place where he was parked looked as though it's never held a car. There's no trace of the white beard, powder blue leisure suit, or the kind blue eyes. I'm not sure how long I stand here, long enough for a sense of peace to overtake me, despite my confusion. Gazing upward at the darkening road, I make my way to the phone. And that's it. That's for that chapter. I would really appreciate if you've had an angelic experience or some unexplainable experience of your own. Please leave a comment for me down in the comment box. I would love to start a discussion on this. These are incredible experiences I had in my life that I could never let go of. I suspect you've had some too. Thanks. I would be so very grateful if you would like, subscribe, and comment down below. Thank you very much for listening.